You ask her out again.
I just got like goosebumps.
So thank you for inspiring us here at Sway TV, Clay.
Oh my goodness, we're having a little fire here.
Michael says, Shayla, I love you and your shows.
How did you do this?
So many giveaways here at Sway TV.
Money, big money, big money, big money, big money.
I'm ready to battle shop live. Yeah!
This is fun.
And one person's gonna win a PS5. Which one will it be?
Everyone is holding their breath.
I have our winner.
I'm so excited, I can't even stand it.
I cannot make this up.
We are awarding you with the PS5 as well. What?
6, 5,
4, 3,
2, 1.
Talk to all your friends and your family. Let them know about Sway TV.
Sway TV is here to stay. Thank you, Amazon.
Thank you, Sway TV.
Shop attainment all the time.
'Tis the season of the comfy.
We in the house. We having fun. We doing the thing. We swaying.
2 thumbs up. Woo!
Sway TV #1, baby.
Here we go for you.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's sway.
let's sway.
Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's go, let's sway. Stay tuned. Woo!
Welcome to Sway TV. I am Michelle Mitchell, and this is Navigating Life. I'm so excited to be with you guys today, and I have a special guest with me. I'm really excited. This is someone that I've known for a while and have such an amazing connection with. Please welcome Sara Baker to our live stream today. Hi, Sara. Can you hear?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you just fine. So Sarah's joining us today on Navigating Life, and if you guys have never logged on before to Sway TV, it's an amazing community of like-minded hosts that share everything that works for them with you to expedite your process in your whatever it is that you're doing. So some people focus on photography and some people focus on health and wellness and beauty. I focus on navigating life, all the tools that you need to navigate life. So when I find great things, I share them with you. When I find great people, I share them with you. So Sarah's one of the great people that I've found, and I'm gonna let Sara introduce herself and tell you a little bit about who she is and what she does. And we're gonna just share wisdom for the next hour or so. So Sara, jump in and let us know what you do and why you do it.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's so wonderful to be here with Michelle today to talk about all things holistic health and mindfulness and Nlp Breakthrough Session. So I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I specialize in holistic psychotherapy. So I come from more of a holistic background in treating all clients from a whole perspective and getting them more in touch with their mind, body, soul. I am the founder of Sabi Pathways Holistic Wellness, and I have a group of amazing holistic therapists, coaches, and wellness practitioners who show up to bring amazing experiences to the community. Personally, I am a NLP empowerment coach, so that is my passion, that is my love, and it's such an amazing experience to be able to work with clients and teach them more about their unconscious mind and how they have some unconscious limiting beliefs, blockages, baggage, all kinds of stuff that comes up, and how to remove them and really get clear on their path. So that's really my passion. I also teach yoga and take people around the world to sacred sites on global retreats and lead all kinds of group experiences. So yeah, that's my background a little bit. Yeah.
Well, it's really amazing to me to find somebody that, you know, sometimes when you're a traditional licensed therapist, that's the lane that you choose, and that's the lane that you're in. Mm-hmm. And it's not to say that that's good or bad. It's just, it's different. And what I found interesting about you was that you have that, but you also seek more and other modalities and other things to help your clients. So my question to you is, why? Like, how did you kind of start to marry those two processes?
Yeah, so I've always been interested in becoming a therapist. Ever since I was a kid, I had a natural ability to connect with my friends and support them during some of their difficult emotional times. So that always came really natural to me. And as I went through college, I continued my studies with psychology, and I also found some amazing benefits in yoga and mindfulness and meditation. And I started seeing all of the benefits and what that was bringing to my life. And I knew that I wanted to continue serving and helping and inspiring people. And because I had such a great experience personally with all of these holistic tools, I knew that I had to bring it into the mental health world. So as I continued on my journey towards licensure, I worked in all kinds of different settings, from rehabilitation treatment centers, the Betty Ford Center, runaway shelters for teens, and a crisis walk-in center. And what I noticed was that, they did a lot for talk therapy and traditional psychotherapy, and there wasn't that whole centered aspect to the healing and the transformation. And I would do as much as I could to bring that into the therapy room and to teach my clients about mindfulness and holistic health. And at that point, I knew that there was a place for me in the world to really bring more of this to the community and to create the vision and create the practice that really helped me to grow and has helped so many of my clients to grow and be able to put it out there in a really big way. So I know that when going through a healing process or navigating through difficult emotion, talking about it is wonderful and can bring you really great results. And when combined with things like yoga and meditation and mindfulness and NLP and energy work, the results are tremendously incredible and take you to whole new realms of consciousness. So it's absolutely important for me to create a platform and a foundation where mental health is congruently integrated with holistic health, and it becomes an integral part of how we navigate our worlds all around in the health world. So. Yeah.
Do you think there's like more of an opening in that space, that it's more accepting now, like in that traditional therapist lane, to be like, oh, there's, MBSR or NLP, or, to be able to kind of...
Absolutely. I think that many people, as well as therapists, are really interested in this holistic field right now. We've come a long way in terms of our acceptance of energy and meditation and mindfulness, and there's been a lot of research on the benefits of what these type of practices can do. So, I find clients seeking out our practice for these specific benefits. And I have an amazing team of therapists who also were drawn to coming on board because of that holistic perspective. They were already bringing it into their practice, and they wanted to be able to be a part of a community where that was the foundation, where holistic health was really the norm, and people could come to the practice, to the platform, and receive all of the different benefits in one place. So I absolutely think that there's more space at this time for people to accept this and be open to this, and people are seeking it out. Really, people want this. So, I feel like it's exactly in alignment with what I want to create and what the world is looking for right now.
And I love that you've created this space, because I think that it's definitely the piece that's missing for some people. Obviously you're going to attract the people that are open, to it. And I have a 13-year-old, and just to say the word therapy to her is kind of there's like a little bit of a negative connotation to it for her group or whatever. But when we talk about it as holistic health and just kind of deepening your understanding of your behaviors and how how to manage anxiety and stress and use those words, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, that's interesting. So I love it.
Yeah, I think language around therapy, has had somewhat of a stigma in the past, and that's really important for me to teach my clients and to teach my therapists who are a part of my team to break the mold of what people think that therapy is, and to focus on it as more of a personal growth practice, where you're coming there not because you're broken or you're sick or you have this disorder, but because you want to grow and you want to expand and you want to take your potential to the next level. So I make that really important and when I'm teaching my clients, and I make it really, really known that it's not about the diagnosis, it's not about the disorder, it's not about the names, the labels of things. It's really about what you're getting out of the experience and how you're taking responsibility and taking control of your mind, your body, your spirit, and really taking yourself to that next level of empowerment.
So I think that, it's growth therapy. I love it. I don't know, but has anybody got growth therapy yet? Do I need to go look that up? We just call it growth therapy. I want to take a second. I want to recognize Luis, who's here. Good morning, Luis. Luis is saying good morning to Michelle and Sara. If you want, you can go, Sara, if you want, you can, if you have your phone, you can go to swaytvlive.com, and then you'll be able to see the chat like I'm seeing the chat. And Luis is saying hello and good morning. And Luis is from Australia. She logs on to my show all the time. She's fantastic. We've done like journaling exercises, all sorts of fun stuff. And she's someone that does it and then reaches out to me and lets me know how it went. And so I love... this is so interesting, right? You think this is an Amazon Live, shopping platform, and it is. But what Sway TV has done, and the brilliance of Sway TV is they've decided that we're going to not just do that, we're going to do more, and we're going to give content, and we're going to, give tools and hacks for a better life and things like that, so that it enhances, and it's that holistic approach. It's the more than just, buy the journal from Amazon. It's like, buy the journal from Amazon, but what could you do with that journal, and how does that work?
Right.
So we've been having some fun. And Laura's on. Hi, ladies. Good afternoon, Laura. How are you? And yes, it opens the mind. Absolutely, Laura. I agree 100%. So Louise and Laura are our regulars in our chat. I would encourage anybody that's watching right now, jump in the chat, ask any questions if you have any questions. Sara and I are happy to answer questions as we can, or discuss, whatever you guys want to discuss. But we did talk about, Sara's got, she's very, very talented in a lot of ways, but there's something we talked, when I was talking to Sara the other day, she's got this program coming up about breakthrough sessions. And I don't know if you guys know what a breakthrough session is. And so if you know what that is, just put in the chat, yes, I know what a breakthrough session is, or just don't know what it is, but heard of it, or whatever. Just kind of throw your comments in there. And while you're kind of doing that and thinking about that, really, I didn't know really what a breakthrough session was until Nlp training. And to have somebody say, oh, this is what it is, okay, well, that's interesting, and you can read the steps, and I can logically see how that would work, and that makes sense. But to actually go through a breakthrough session, it's not only it's exhausting and invigorating at the same time, because you're like kind of realizing these things, and it's taking some effort to realize them, but at the same time you're energized because you've realized them, and you're like, oh wow, some things can shift and move. But it's also I think just as energetically demanding for the practitioner to to hold the space with you and do a breakthrough session. So maybe Louise says, yes, I want to know more about breakthrough session. Laura says, yes, it's an amazing experience. So talk to us a little bit about how you see it and what you're doing with it.
Yeah. So as a licensed therapist, I was always seeking out different trainings that really encompass this whole holistic perspective. And it wasn't until I went to my first NLP training that I really got a sense for, wow, this has it all. It connects on the mind, it connects on the body, it connects spiritually, and it connects to energy. And I was seeing all of the results right there in person, people, going from having tremendous amounts of anxiety and phobias and it being gone just like that. So
amazing, right? Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
mind blowing.
Mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing. And as a therapist, I've been to many different trainings and done a lot of continued education. And this specific practice of NLP really showed me that I can take my clients to new levels by working with the unconscious mind. So I was all in at that point, and I decided to continue on to Master Prac, and that's where we got to meet and have our first interaction together. And at Master Prac is really where we went into the advanced techniques of NLP and working with the unconscious mind. So if anybody doesn't know by now, we all have an unconscious mind and we have a conscious mind. And if you've ever heard the term or the phrase that, we're only using 10% of our brain, that's true consciously. And unconsciously, the unconscious mind is doing all of the behind the scenes work. So if you're ever wondering why you set some goals and then feel yourself kind of running into blockages, or you just keep getting stuck in the same areas, or you have the same patterns of thinking or emotions come up time and time again, it's because there's unresolved emotion, limiting beliefs, and baggage at the level of the unconscious mind that's looking to be resolved. It's looking for resolution so that you can truly feel empowered and go further along your path. And with the NLP Breakthrough Session, it's basically a deep dive into the unconscious, right? So you get to choose a specific area of life that you really want to accomplish a big goal in.
So what would
right?
what would that look like? Like if you were doing a breakthrough session with me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want a breakthrough session, and you're like, but you need to choose something. I'd be like, but everything, but like, what would you say to me?
Yeah, so there's some specific areas of life that we like to center the breakthrough sessions around. So those would be, and the most popular ones are career, relationships, physical health, and then you can also go into family, spirituality, and personal growth and development. And what I like to tell my clients when they're focusing on an area of life, because they're all like, exactly like you said, I've got stuff in everywhere, like I need to fix everything, I'm so crazy, right? And so I ask them to choose the area of life where they have the biggest goal in. Right. And the area of life, which if it was resolved, they would have more results in the other areas of their life. So once they resolve that particular area, they would feel more balance, more harmony in those other areas as well. Typically, when we're working on career, after we find some fluidity and some movement, we tend to feel a natural ability to work on those other areas of life or see other opportunities open up in our physical health and our relationships. So, and it's different for everybody. It could be, once we get settled in our relationships, then career opportunities start to open up or physical health starts to open up. So I really ask my clients to think about which area of life is most important to them, which area of life do they want to accomplish the biggest goal in, and which area of life would make all of the other areas of life more in harmony and more in balance. And I always remind them to not focus on the area of life where there's the most baggage or where it feels the most dysfunctional, but the area of life, again, where there's the biggest goal. And the reason for that is because during the process of the breakthrough session, as you're going through the detailed personal history and other parts of it, you really are pulling out baggage and limiting beliefs and negative emotion in all of those other areas as well. So the unconscious mind will start to pull up anything that you need to resolve that would help you to go further along the path in this particular area. And it tends to touch on all of the other areas as you go through and as you go a little bit deeper into that one specific area that you chose.
So if I'm like, if I think I want to achieve this goal at work and I just feel stuck with it, and I'm like, okay, let's work on this, and I achieve, and I get to moving whatever limiting belief that I'm having, or get the breakthrough and be like, okay, I can do this, and this is how I can do this, and I have the resources, and I do it, and then I'm happier to be at work, and then that means I'm happier to be at home. I'm more centered and balanced, and so I can, like, as far as like kind of like a scenario, I'm kind of playing that out in my mind, and I can see that.
Yeah. You start to flow. You start to feel more movement, more fluidity. And what happens is you clear out all of the baggage and the filters that limit your view on reality. So what happens is we get all of this information coming to us all the time. We get about 2 billion bits of information coming at us at any given moment. And we're only able to comprehend about 126 bits or so. Right. Yeah. So you can imagine like 2 billion toothpicks falling from the sky, and you're only able to grab onto 126 of those. And the 126 that you grab are based on the filters that you have. Those filters have to do with your unconscious values, your unconscious belief systems, your attitudes, and all of the experiences that you've had. And pretty much most of the filters that we've been programmed with happen at ages 0 to 7. Like by age 3, even, they say that we're about 90% programmed already from what we're experiencing in our world at that age. We soak up all of those unconscious beliefs, all those ideas about the world and our environment and people and love and money and all kinds of things, and they become our filter on reality. and they stick with us throughout our life until we resolve them and we bring some awareness to them. So as you go deeper into the breakthrough session, you clear out those filters. You bring awareness to what's been limiting your view on reality and what's been filtering your view on what's possible for you. And as you do it in that one specific area of life, you tend to remove the filters on the other areas of life as well. And you get a clearer vision on what's actually possible for you and how you've been constructing your world in a limited way. And so when you have that awareness, your awareness grows to those other areas of life and shows you what's possible and how you're actually able to accomplish anything that you put your mind to when you take responsibility for your world and your perceptions and how you're choosing to experience it.
Yeah, and it's like once you kind of have that awareness, you can't unsee it. You can't it's almost like, okay, I'm super aware of it. I want to say hi, Aaron from Ireland. Aaron is saying, hey, Michelle, hey, Sara. My day has been amazing. I actually drove to from San Diego to LA today. Beautiful, awesome, had an amazing day. What's it like in Ireland? Pop in the chat, let us know what's going on. There's an Amazon customer in here that says, this is great. I would love to know your name, Amazon customer. Tell us who you are so we can welcome you to Sway TV and to Navigating Life. If you guys are just tuning in, I'm speaking with Sara Baker, and she is a licensed therapist. But her amazingness doesn't stop there. She is full of holistic information and extremely competent in sharing with us today. And I'm really excited because she's got some great stuff coming up in her world that she wants to share with us. And I'm really I can't wait to get into that and actually see that come to fruition. You're giving me military time, Aaron? 23:30? What is 23:30?
22:30. 23:30. 10:30. 23:30 is 11:30.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so in the middle of the night? Oh my God. Yeah. You're listening to Sara and Michelle. It's 11. It's 11 at night. Well, thank you for tuning in with us at 11 at night. And we're talking about breakthroughs. We're talking about neurolinguistic programming and just that whole realm of the conscious and the unconscious mind. I love what you said about that really it's the unconscious mind that's kind of running the show, and that programming kind of happens really, really early on. And I know there's a technique that we do that's mental and emotional release, and I think for me that's kind of when the light bulb went on. Wow, how far back does that go?
Yeah. Right.
So how do you know you have a limiting belief? What would be, because some people are like, well, how do I put my finger on that limiting belief or start to?
Yeah. Good question, right? So a limiting belief is really anything where you find yourself doubting yourself, where you find yourself limiting yourself because of fear, or you say things like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of this, it's never going to happen for me, I'm not lovable, I'm never going to find the man of my dreams, I'm never going to have the career that I've always wanted, these things that are really limiting. Any kind of negative self-talk, I really contribute to being a limiting belief. And with the breakthrough session, what we do when we go through the detailed personal history, which is the first part of the experience, we dig deeper into the past and into all of the programming that's been there. And through the communication and the language patterns and the emotions and all of the unconscious things that are coming up, I'm able to identify what that greater root problem is. So we all have these more surface level limiting beliefs that tend to show up time and time again. And at the core of them, we have a greater limiting belief that is really producing the stronger energy behind those more surface limiting beliefs and those more surface presenting problems. Not that the problems aren't important. And when we know that the reason that we're feeling so emotional about something, or like those beliefs are so true for us, is because it's weighed down by all of the energy of all of the other experiences we've had before, and it's really being held down by that greater limiting belief that we have about ourselves. And what tends to show up most often for people are, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm a failure, I'm not lovable. Those are some really big ones that I see quite often. And I'm sure many people can relate to, having those types of feelings or those type of thoughts come up. And it may look a little bit different in terms of your languaging. And at the core, it's got the same energy of feeling those types of ideas and those types of limiting beliefs. So, anytime you're really feeling doubt about yourself, or that you're not capable of something, or that you can't do something, that's really how I would say a limiting belief can be identified.
And I think sometimes when you find yourself tripping over the same thing over and over again, it's like, this keeps coming up for me, year after year, or every time this opportunity comes up. And Laura's saying this is really good for everyone, including teens. And she says, I speak from experience because she's got a teen. It is. And I think that it's really, it's important for parents and teens to understand the conscious and the unconscious mind. It absolutely changes your behavior and how you relate to people. Emma says, are there any giveaways or fun stuff coming up? Okay, so Emma, I'm going to ask the producer if there are any giveaways or fun stuff coming up. We might do something. We might do something there. But so because when I think of, okay, what is the limiting belief? And then, I couldn't, because we did that exercise, and it's like I'm like, I don't know that I actually have one, because I'm successful, and I'm driven, and and then I started to recognize there were places in my life where I as successful and driven as I was doubting myself, and I wasn't like taking the next step on things, or I would purposely divert myself to something else, and I'm like, oh, that that's it. So
right. And limiting beliefs, we all have them, no matter what level of the path you're on or how successful you feel you are. We all have these show up time and time again. And I think that's what's so amazing about a breakthrough session is, yes, we can deal with some of those deeper rooted traumas and that deep rooted emotional baggage. And it's also for the person who just, like you said, runs into the same patterns over and over again, or they get to a certain level of their life and they just can't break through to that next phase. They find themselves feeling stuck, or have those same self-sabotaging behaviors come up, or unconscious habits that take them out of productivity or stall the momentum. So this really helps you to understand why you keep getting stuck, why these patterns keep showing up over and over again. And it can take, the person who's going through some really big life transitions and life challenges to another level. And it can also take the person who has gone really far in their career and they're trying to just break through to that next level, and they can't get that spark ignited, right? And this helps you to understand what's happening unconsciously that's blocking the path. Right?
And isn't it amazing?
I think those patterns and those cycles are really important to be aware of. Yeah.
And it's so amazing when those shifts are made, what can happen. And I think that when we make the investment in ourselves, I think that, we'll go to the store and buy a pair of shoes or buy a bag or buy, it goes out that way. But then if it's like, oh, I'm going to do a breakthrough session and figure out what my limiting belief is or how I can just move through, then all of a sudden there's like all this analysis that goes on, with well, how much is that going to be, and how am I going to do that?
As women especially, we go out and spend all this money on our hair and nails and all kinds of things, right? And if we really invested that in our mind and our, body and soul, and that connection, and how to unravel those unconscious limiting beliefs and emotional stuckness, that stuck energy, when we do that, we really get to experience our life at different levels of abundance, prosperity, success, so that we can do even more than we ever expected, right? So I think the investment into your personal growth is such a big part of experiencing success and experiencing continued success and continued fulfillment, right? Because there's always more to unravel as well. Right? Through a breakthrough session, you get to go really far and really deep. And part of the past, one of the roles of the unconscious mind is to continue seeking, right? So it's going to continue seeking out how you can up level, how you can evolve. And when you take responsibility and have awareness of that, you keep up leveling, you keep growing, you keep pulling back layers, and you keep transitioning to levels of your life that you never thought possible. So, the investment in the self, I don't think it ever stops. And,
Right.
I know quite a few personal growth junkies who can't get enough trainings, myself included.
I'm all right here.
And I think the work is, my hands up. Yeah, absolutely. And, I think it's such an amazing way to really experience life with purpose and meaning and to feel actually fulfilled. Right?
Yeah.
We think we're going to be fulfilled from those material things. And, when we can get that sense of congruency inside of us and really feel it from our core and feel it from that deep-rooted place, we find so much more gratitude and so much more love in everything that we do.
I think that it doesn't even have to be like a ton of money. Like when you guys look at your life and you say, okay, where can I start with this kind of growth mindset or, self-development or well-being or self-care?
Right.
You don't have to necessarily jump into, a big seminar, a big training or whatever. You start, whether that's with a journal or a part of a group or something. You just start the dialogue,
Yeah.
and you just start, and then it happens. But it's like,
Yeah.
that whole thing about, just make the shifts that you can make. And I think that opens
Right.
up, to greater
Right.
things.
Yeah, and when I talk to my clients about meditation, some of them feel kind of intimidated at first and think that you have to be levitating on top of the Himalayas in India to, really
With
get
a bed of nails under you as you're like,
yeah, absolutely. That's
Right.
That's their perception of it. And so I teach them that mindfulness meditation can just be taking a conscious breath. Just being aware in the present moment. One deep breath, right? Is a form of meditation.
Yeah.
Right. And the same thing with, investing in yourself. It's about starting somewhere. Meet yourself where you're at and look at your daily practices and where can you just start to add something in that's going to take you to that next level or that's going to tell your unconscious mind that you're serious about your personal growth, right? And so that can be, I think it's so important to have morning routines and morning rituals because that really sets the tone for the rest of the day. So if you're able to take, 1 minute of your morning, to take some deep breaths, to write down what you're grateful for, to visualize what you want in your life, to, do some yoga stretches. Doesn't have to be a long time, right? But just
Right.
showing up for a minute tells your unconscious mind that you're serious and that you're here to show up for yourself. And as you do that, the universe starts showing up for you.
So I have I have two questions. The first one is, so the unconscious mind is a very powerful, it's a very
Right.
powerful engine,
Yeah.
right? So when you ask, because if you ask your unconscious mind a question, it will search for the answer. So literally you could say, oh, Emma says Sarah's hair is lovely. Yes, Sarah's hair is lovely.
Thank you.
And my blazer. I like all these compliments, Emma. Thank you. And I think my blazer came from I think it came from Bloomingdale's. I don't know if I can say that on here, but I just did. I'm sure Amazon has an equivalent. So my two questions are: the first one is, the unconscious mind is a really powerful engine, and when you ask it a question, it will go seek an answer. So whether you get the answer immediately or you get it a little bit later, it's looking for the answer. So it gets programmed early on, right? So the unconscious mind is programmed early on, and we're talking about like that 0 to 7 or 0 to 5 or, wherever you want to land there. So it's got this programming, and it's powerful. So whatever programming happened in there, it's powerful. And then we continue on. If we keep tripping over the same thing, if that programming is not serving what we want to see today, if that programming is not serving our greater good, for where we want to go, we actually have to go and do the reprogramming.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was going to say the reason that the unconscious mind is bringing up these patterns or you experience the same cycles over and over again is because it's asking you to resolve them. It's not bringing them up because it's, trying to punish you or trying to block your path. It wants you to resolve it. Most of the time when these blockages come up, we interpret it as meaning, I'm not meant for this, or those greater root problems start to show up of I'm not good enough. And then we just kind of retreat backwards and we don't break through. We don't overcome that perceived obstacle. We don't resolve what the unconscious mind wants us to resolve. So it brings these up for the purpose of resolution. And if we don't take responsibility for that, if we don't even know that or have awareness of what the unconscious mind is doing, then we keep repeating the same patterns and we think that the thoughts that we hear in our head are true, right? And then we stay limited and we don't break through. So Deepak Chopra had a quote, I'm not quoting it exactly, but he says that you can't get to second grade until you learn the lessons of first grade, right? So until you learn the lessons of what the unconscious mind is bringing up, you're going to keep going through those same cycles, those same patterns over and over again until you get it, until you get the teachings, the message, and are able to congruently change your perception on yourself and what you're experiencing.
And that takes some effort and that takes some expertise. I think that, it really does. It really takes some effort and expertise to do that, and it's definitely worth the investment in time to recognize it and work with it. And I'm kind of speaking from a personal perspective too, of still stumbling over things and still having these, a knee-jerk reaction to something, and I'm like, that doesn't feel good. Like, why am I doing that? And being able to dive in to be like, what is that, and to check it. And you're right, it'll come back over and over and over again until it's resolved.
Right. And each time you show up to resolve it, it tends to become less and less, or you break open the boundaries on it, you peel back layers. So the next time that you experience it, the emotion may be a little bit less and it may feel a little bit better. So, each time that you show up to it and you feel like you experience it again, it's not to, feel bad about it. It's to know that there's still more here. There's still more layers to uncover. One of the other things that I practice is a form of Huna empowerment. So it's energy work and it's teachings from the ancient Hawaiians. And it's a really amazing practice. And I resonate with it. It's all about the earth and energy and the elements. And something that the Hawaiians would talk about is when our baggage comes up, when our emotions come up, when our stuff is up, it's meant to be an opportunity. It can be something to celebrate because that means that we know what we need to work on, we know what we can move through to get to that next level and really feel more empowered. So if we can look at these perceived obstacles as opportunities for growth and start to celebrate them in a way, we may not throw a party for ourselves at first, but start to gain that perception that, when I work on this, when I show up to face my shadows and to face my fears and to face my doubts and really work hard to resolve them, I'm going to start experiencing life more from a positive perspective and just from a higher vibration.
And I love that because I read, kind of your bio and some things, and I know that, one of your whole things is about this holistic approach. And I love that Laura in the chat, Laura just said, this is so important, especially during this time with, the mental health issues that, the whole world is facing. And I know that, you make a very big effort to bring all of it to that space to make sure that all the tools are there, to make sure that that's there. Emma says we're glowing today. Emma, I think that I'm going to make you the Michelle and Sara fan club. I don't know. Louise might want that, but I don't know. I'm feeling very loved and appreciated. So thank you so much, Emma. So my other question to you was, and that unconscious mind, it is very powerful. And I know that in the morning that there's an easier connection to it, or there's an easier way to have a conversation with it. And that has to do with the fact that our day hasn't started rolling yet. Our brain waves haven't started to jump to the to-do, that we're just kind of coming out of that sleep. And what does your morning routine look like? What do you do in the morning?
Great question. So you're absolutely right. The unconscious mind is more active in the morning, and especially because it's the most activated while we're sleeping and going through the dream state. So that's a really important place where the unconscious mind is still working, still helping you to resolve what you've been going through each day and some emotional baggage from your past. So one of the first things that I do, depending on the night, when I wake up in the morning, if I can recall anything from my dreams, I'll write down my dreams. And I start to gain some rapport with my unconscious mind by interpreting what these meanings are for what I was dreaming about, because all of the things that we dream about are meant to they're being communicated to us through symbols and metaphors, and they're meant to help us resolve things. So I'll write down some of the different elements of what I experienced in my dream, and I'll try to get some messages from my unconscious that way. The next thing that I like to do, really, I have my yoga mat right next to my bed, so I can just hop right on it. And for me, it's just about showing up. So each day looks a little bit different for me. I have a few different things that I like to get in there. And, I really tune into myself and tune into my unconscious mind of what I need each morning. And I feel myself around, what is it that my body needs? What does my mind need? What does my spirit need? So some of the different things that I like to include, one of the first things that I do is gratitude. So absolutely start to get in touch with, what I feel grateful for each morning. And my partner and I, if he's awake at the same time as me, one of the first things that we'll do is share with each other what we're grateful for. So that's a really important piece of my morning routine. From there, it's all about getting in touch with the unconscious through the breath. Taking 3 deep breaths. And when I have time, I always do a meditation, but when I have time for a long meditation, that's really important for me. So I'll sit in meditation, I'll start with some deep ha breathing, and then I'll just go into that unconscious realm and really try to focus on the present moment. I like to use mantras, I like to use affirmations and seeds. That really helps me to stay focused. And especially when you're starting out with meditation, having a little bit of music in the background and having that mantra can help to keep your thoughts more focused. So that's a really important part for me. And then I always do a little bit of yoga and do a little bit of stretching, get in touch with my body and do a little bit of a flow, or sometimes I just lay in child's pose for 10 minutes and that feels really good. So that's a big part. And the other thing that I do is I make it a point to go outside and connect with the elements. So I love to walk my dog first thing in the morning, and whether I'm listening to a podcast or an inspirational book or just listening to the sounds of the birds, I make sure that I get outside and connect a little bit with the earth, with the water, fire, and with the air. And that really helps me to feel more aligned with myself, to feel more aligned with the energy of the earth, to feel more grounded, and to feel ready for my day. So those are some really big things. I have tons of things that I like to do. I like to, burn some sage, do some chanting, all kinds of things. But those are really the important pieces for me each morning.
And I think morning routine is so important. And I love that you said you just kind of like listen to what your body wants and so what your body needs, and kind of connecting with that kind of energy, because I think a lot of times we get in the space of, I got a 6:30 workout. If I don't work out at 6:30, if I don't, if I don't do it, then it's, I've failed, or whatever it is, it sets the day off. And I love the idea of like, what does your body need? And the difference between what your body needs and when you're trying not to do something. Like, it's like, maybe your body needs a workout and maybe it doesn't, but maybe it needs a meditation, maybe it needs a combination of both. And, I think it's important to tap into that.
Absolutely.
As we're talking about like morning and morning routines, there's a whole thing in the evening, and I remember our trainer, Dr. Matt, and one of the things at the end of the day that I loved that he said was, and I'm probably not going to 100% get his words right, but it was really reflecting on the good stuff from the day, like what kind of worked that day, like, at the end of the day to recognize what worked that day.
Yeah. I think that's so important as well, because, sometimes before we go to bed, our mind starts to run with all of the things that we have to do the next day, or, all of the things that went wrong. And when we can consciously focus our mind on, what did we accomplish? What were our wins that day? And I think what some people get stuck on when they're thinking about gratitude, or when they're thinking about their wins or what they've accomplished, they think it has to be like really, really big, right? And when we can start to bring awareness to the small things and bring awareness to, the little things that brought us joy, or the little things that, kept us in flow that day, we can start to have more appreciation for everything throughout our day. So I absolutely think that's an important practice as you're going to sleep, or, right before you're getting ready for bed, to bring to mind what you did accomplish that day, and bring to mind, what was fulfilling for you, And, I think gratitude is also an important piece that you can do before going to bed as well. That's another time that I like to, really think about what I'm grateful for.
Yeah, I do that. I mean, the minute my eyes open, my first words are like, I love this bed. I'm so grateful for this bed.
Right.
Like, because it's the easiest thing, right?
For my pillow.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to use your senses to tap into whatever use your senses to bring you into the space of gratitude, and then you can flow from there, the next thing and the next thing.
Right. And sometimes we, may wake up in a place where we don't feel up to doing some of these things. We don't feel emotionally that great. And, what I tell my clients is that sometimes we have to do things even if we don't want to, right? And again, meeting ourselves where we're at, not pushing ourselves to the point where, we're really uncomfortable, and doing something to change that momentum, to change that energy, right? And so, the more that we focus on things like gratitude, the more our unconscious mind goes there naturally throughout the rest of the day, right? So where our attention goes, energy flows. And
I love that.
When we bring our awareness to gratitude more often, we find ourselves naturally throughout the day thinking about, oh, I'm so grateful for the sidewalk, or I'm so grateful for the sun. And it's just a natural part of our unconscious dialogue, right? And so what we focus on, what we put our attention on, becomes part of our unconscious thought pattern and our unconscious programming. So it's so important to act with intention.
Yeah. And so with the work that you do, and this is, you're a licensed therapist, there's that work, but you also have these retreats. And so you have like firsthand knowledge of watching, people become aware and going through transition and really kind of like opening up. And I just kind of want you to speak to that experience. Like, what is a retreat experience like, and what is that kind of awareness? How does that translate to life? Like, from doing a retreat, how does that change your life?
Yeah, so I think travel is so important, right? So, yes, I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I think that's absolutely amazing. I'm an NLP coach, and I work deeply with the unconscious mind. I teach yoga, and I offer group mentorships, and I take people around the world to sacred sites to travel to
that's my favorite part of what you do.
Yeah.
And I take people around the world.
It's my favorite part, too. That's really, when I'm doing that, I feel like, I'm not even working. This is just like, this is so much fun. This is what I'm meant to be doing. And I think it's so important because travel has always been a big part of my life and what's fulfilled me the most. And when I get to travel with intention, and I travel to places where you really connect with the earth and the energy, and you experience sacred sites like Machu Picchu or Angkor Wat, you feel an energy there, and you get to connect to something bigger than yourself. And I think it's so amazing to see people go through holistic empowerment and go through the therapy process, and then to travel outside of their comfort zone and go to a place where they can really tap into the energy, they can really feel it, and they can really, just by being there, know there's something bigger out there, know that there is something going on in the stars and the cosmos, something that's, a bigger connection, and it's bigger than us. And I think that's really important for, the whole sense of healing, because when we know that, it deepens our connection to spirit and to energy, and most of all, the earth.
What if somebody can't travel? What if somebody can't go away and do a retreat? What would you say to them? Like, what if I'm like, okay, I live in La Jolla, and I can't travel, and I can't go, do a retreat or whatever. What would what would you say to me? Like, how could I get a mini experience?
Yeah. So I think that, when you take yourself outside of your comfort zone in general, that's where the magic happens. So even if you're not able to travel outside of the country or travel to a different state or a different city, you can travel to a different part of your city, right? Maybe travel to a different park or a different mountain or a different beach than you normally go to, right? And experience a different energy there, and make it a point to connect with the elements. I think that's the way that you really get to experience the energy of the earth. And to connect with the elements, all you really have to do is, again, get into a space for meditation, take a couple deep breaths, and just notice, just bring your awareness to the sand beneath your feet, bring your awareness to the waves crashing, and just listen to the sounds, and, feel the mist coming off the waves, or experience the sun coming down through your entire body and filling you up with warmth and light, or, the breeze moving through your hair, and just being present and noticing those elements can take you to that other realm of consciousness as well. And you can feel different energies on the earth. So, it's not just around the world, it's in different cities. When we pop into a place where we feel like the energy is kind of off, or we just feel kind of like, oh, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
You're sensing energy, you're tuning into energy. So, you can check out different places where you really feel connected to the land, you feel connected to the nature, and you feel connected to the elements around you. So I would definitely say, just choosing to step outside your comfort zone wherever you are, to open that realm of potential of consciousness, to open up those 126 bits to something new, and to experience something different, even if it's in the same city that you live in.
I love that. I drove, I had to drive east to go north because I had an errand to run, and I drove the Del Diaz Highway, which is just, around the mountain, and I was just like, wow, like this is here all the time, and I don't go that way. It's like I had this moment of appreciation and gratitude for like the sky and the mountains, and it was and it was just
I always take the long way home, or a different way home. We tend to get stuck in our routines and in the same patterns of things. So sometimes it's just about changing the energy, walking a different path with your dog, or choosing a different color to wear than you normally wear, or taking a different route home. All of those things can move the energy, shift things up a little bit, and leave room for just more creative space and more expansion in general.
So if somebody were to go to a retreat that you had, do you have any retreats coming up?
Yeah, I'm going to be having one in the fall, which is going to be really amazing. So that's all in the works. All the details will be coming soon. The plan is to be in Mexico, and it's an amazing place. I've been doing a lot of traveling there, and it's a really great place to connect with the energy of the land in Sayulita San Pancho area. And it's actually on a bed of quartz, so you feel the energy of those crystals beneath you, and it like sucks you in. It's this amazing vortex, and has an amazing connection to the earth, to the culture, to the people, and a great place to do some deep work.
And so what, like, just like roughly, like what would you expect? Like, would you be gone for like 4 days, and then what would that kind of look like?
Yeah, typically I like to bring people for about a week so that they can really get a full experience of the land, the culture, the energy. And when I bring people to travel, it's really important for me because I love to have epic experiences when I travel, and I love to eat the best food and experience the best places to stay, and
I'm on board with
intention,
that.
Right? Yeah, it doesn't have to be too bougie, but something that where you really feel connected, where you really feel like you are investing in yourself again. You're getting a really amazing experience where you're staying, where you're eating with the people. You get to have cultural experiences, and beyond that epic travel experience, you're also connected to sacred sites where whether they're Native Americans or the Aztec tribes or the Incas, depending on where you are, where they would come and have ceremonies, and where they would come and do some of their deep work. So along with the traveling and experiencing the culture, you can also expect to have some amazing yoga experiences at the place that we're staying, and also out in nature at the sacred sites. I love to do hypnotic meditations and take people through journeys with the unconscious mind. We also will do some NLP work and set some goals and start to get clear on your path, and move some of this baggage out of the way so that you can absolutely transform when you're done. And I think doing that in a space of travel can really be transformative and so inspirational for your path when you get home. Usually when we go travel, we like to travel to experience something new, to whether we're getting over a breakup or we just need to change it up. We're seeking something, we're seeking expansion, we're seeking a different level of our life. And, travel will naturally bring that to you when you visit another place. Again, you're going outside of that comfort zone. And when you combine that with doing the deep work, with practicing holistic health, with experiencing the culture in an intentional way, and you're connecting to the energy of the land, you really get to experience yourself and the earth in a whole new way.
Well, I think definitely like Laura's in. She said she's just relaxed with you talking about this. She's dreaming about this. Emma wishes she had your cheekbones. So I think you have a lot of fans in here. I can imagine all that you're talking about, because some of it I've experienced, and then to be in a space, to do that in that space, or a sacred space, or, that whole experience, would be amazing. So you have that, so you have Mexico coming up in the fall.
Yeah, Mexico coming up in the fall.
Okay.
So that's going to be the, first out of the country retreat since everything in the world shifted. So I'm really excited for that. And I know people are itching to travel and itching to have a little bit of fun outside the country. So that's going to be amazing. And then the other thing I have coming up, a couple of things. So we just rebranded and relaunched our website. So tomorrow we're going to have a virtual launch party.
What's your website that you just relaunched?
So the website is sabipathways.com. So SAB as in boy, I, pathways plural.com. And that's where you can RSVP for the virtual launch party tomorrow at 6 p.m. We're going to be having live music. I'm going to guide you through it.
Tomorrow? So this is tomorrow?
Yeah, this is
okay, you guys, so tomorrow Sarah's having a party. So, and apparently you're all invited. So
yes, everybody's invited. We're going to celebrate. We're going to have some fun. We're going to do some hypnotic yoga. We're going to get some live music. And then I have an amazing friend who's going to give us a sound healing, sound bath experience at the end. So bringing all of those elements of holistic health. We're going to be raffling off some prizes, talking about upcoming events. So it's going to be a really fun experience. And one of the things that we're going to be talking about is the group mentorship that I'm going to be having this summer, starting June 1st. I'm going to have this amazing experience for women, for driven, motivated women who are looking to up-level their life and move to that next level of their career or their relationship. And I'm going to be taking women through a group breakthrough experience.
Okay, so this is really interesting to me, because I know how intense a breakthrough experience is, right? I know how intense it is on both sides. And so when you say group breakthrough experience, I'm so curious as to what does that look like?
Yeah, so I love guiding groups. That's one of my passions, is bringing people together in groups so they can connect up and have that community. And while we do that, we get to go through all of the elements of the breakthrough session together and do an individual mini breakthrough session. So the way that it'll work, it's a 6-week program, and we're going to start off with an intention setting ceremony and bring in some of these elements of holistic health with yoga and hypnosis, meditation, sound baths, connect up together. I'll teach you about the unconscious mind and the foundations of NLP and all of the things that you need to know to move forward on the path of the group breakthrough session. And then what we'll do is we'll do an individual mini breakthrough session together. So it's going to be a small, intimate group, maybe about 10 or 12 people.
Is it going to be virtual?
Personal. It's going to be virtual.
Okay.
So this group will be virtual. It's going to be a virtual group. And what we're going to do is do a mini breakthrough session where I will individually meet with each person in the group, and we'll do the mini detailed personal history. So we'll do about a 3-hour intensive session together to really get to that greater root problem and pull up all of those limiting beliefs, all of that unconscious baggage and negative emotions blocking your path, so you can get really clear on that. And then we'll move forward together as a group, going through our unconscious values, getting clear on our life vision, setting some really smart goals, putting them out into the future, doing some group hypnosis, and also doing the big release work, right? Doing that release work where you actually feel the emotions, you feel the energy release from that unconscious level, and you feel it from your core, right? You really know yourself as completely congruent once you're finished with the experience, and you've got this amazing goal that you've put out into your future, and you know exactly how you're going to accomplish it. And it's not a matter of if, it's just when. You're getting people are RSVPing to your amazing
to your party tomorrow, so that's great. I love that you can do it virtually. I think that's amazing, because you can reach so many people virtually. So even like Ireland, Australia, or whatever, it's like
Right.
This is
Everyone's invited, and it is going to be, this first experience is going to be an experience for women, and I definitely want to open up that realm to anyone who's interested in these experiences in the future. So if you're a male out there, don't think that you're not included. You absolutely are.
Yeah.
So you can reach out to me personally. We can talk about individual sessions and some of the other experiences in the future that will be more co-ed and more focused on the masculine energy as well.
And what's your Instagram? Tell us what your Instagram is. We all
So
need
my
to follow
Instagram,
Sarah.
so for the group practice, so I own Sabi Pathways Holistic Wellness. The Instagram for that is @sabi.pathways. And personally for me, if you want to check out more of my coaching and my travel experiences, my personal Instagram is @sarabaker.lmft.
Okay, that's what, because so I need to follow the other one because I think I'm only following one.
Yeah, so both of them.
Okay, all right.
We just relaunched the Sabi Pathways Instagram, so it's all
cool.
rebranded, and we've been getting out there and building more of a social media presence. So that's @Sabi, SAB as in boy, I.pathways, and @sarabaker.lmft.
Perfect. And then if you guys, I'm going to put Sarah's stuff on MM Mindful, @MM Mindful. So you can message me if you need to reach Sarah or whatever you want to do, and I'll make sure that you guys get connected. Sarah, what are like 3 things we could walk away with today? What are 3, and you could pick any 3 things, just maybe like little hacks to either get back on track or refocus that mind, or what do you think would be some valuable takeaways that you could leave with us today?
Yeah, so something that I think is really important is knowing what the steps are to creating positive change in our life. And there's 4 steps to that, right? The first step is clearing the emotional baggage, right? Clearing up all that stuff. So, whether you like to use journaling right now, or you're able to talk with your unconscious mind, build some rapport, and, start to resolve some of this emotional baggage, that's going to help you to clear your vision, right? That's the first step of creating positive change. The second step is creating a compelling life vision. So, if we don't know where we're going, we might not like where we end up. So it's really important to have a focus, to have a direction, and to have a SMART goal. Creating a goal that's specific, measurable, attainable, reasonable, timely, and putting that out into our future, right? So first, we clear up the emotional baggage so that we can have a clear view of what we're capable of, what our potential is, and then we set a goal that's aligned with that view and with our new vision, our new perspective on ourselves. So once you set the goal, the next step is taking action, right? So once you know what you've put out there to accomplish, it's all about starting to take action. Some people think that, when you're manifesting, that you just put it out there and then it's just going to come to you. And that's not really how it works. This is really the key to manifesting. It's clearing up the energy, clearing up that emotional space, setting a really clear goal, and then starting to take inspired action on it. Starting to take little steps today that are going to make that big goal happen. And the last step is about staying focused. So once you start to take action, it's really important to take action with focus. A lot of the times we'll, show up to accomplish something, or we'll show up to do a bunch of work on our computer, and then we get sidetracked by Instagram or, whatever comes up, and then we don't actually get done what we were planning to get done. So when we can show up to those action steps with focus, we're going to accomplish that goal in no time. So again, releasing the emotional baggage, creating a compelling life vision, a SMART goal, taking action, and staying focused. Those are some amazing things that you can start to think about in your life. And, when you apply those things to what you want to accomplish, again, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The only reason that people don't accomplish their goals is because they see a perceived boulder on the path. They see a big obstacle come up, and they think that it's real, and they think like, oh, I guess I'm not meant for this, or I guess I'm not, I'm not good enough. All those things start to come back up.
Right.
And what successful people do when they see a big boulder on the path, they figure out a way to climb their way over it, to chip a hole through it, dig their way under it, whatever they need to do to accomplish that goal. So when you have a goal and it's set from a really empowered place without emotional baggage, it's about sticking with that goal and accomplishing it and getting it done no matter what it takes, and not letting that emotional baggage or that old programming show up and become your truth, your reality. Taking responsibility for that through meditation, through NLP, through investing in yourself, through coaching, through yoga, through holistic health, releasing that stuff so that you can continue on your path and really accomplish everything that you've set out to accomplish.
I love that 4 steps because I like, give me 3, give me 4, whatever. But there's something really special that I want to, special and important that I want to point out. And that is most people miss the first step. Most people jump right over that because I think in our society, and I'm speaking in very general terms, and so forgive me if I'm making a blanket statement, but that we don't address that, and we go right to what are you going to be, what are you going to do, how, when are you going to get there, when are you, and we miss that very first step, and that's why it's like we just keep coming up on the same stuff over and over again. So I just want to emphasize that very first step of releasing that emotional piece then allows the other steps to flow easier and better.
Yeah.
So that and for me, it's still a piece I still work with, because I stumble on it. I'm like, I kind of go back to step 1 and clear out a little bit of what's going on, and then I can move forward.
Right. If you feel yourself, being blocked by a goal or not getting where you want to go, you can go back and look at those steps. Okay, where am I not focused? Where am I not taking action? Do I not have a clear goal, a clear direction? And is there emotional baggage coming up? Is there some opportunity for me to resolve this so that I can continue on that focused path of accomplishing my goal?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It says, Sara, come back on with Michelle. Yes, Laura, we will have her back. Oh, and Laura says, bye, because I'm going to yoga, but have Sara back. Go to yoga. We want you to go to yoga.
Yes, yoga.
Aaron says, I absolutely loved this interview. I put it on my TV. And then, where can I sign up for men's meditating? Well, you know what? I think you should stay tuned with Sara, and it's probably coming up very soon. She's already thinking about it, so that tells me that she's going to do it. If you go to the
website and sign up for the email list, we'll keep you updated on all of the upcoming events and all of the new experiences that we've got going on this summer and in the fall and beyond. So, stay connected with us, become a part of our community, and we'll make sure to keep you in flow with all of the amazing experiences that we've got planned for this upcoming future.
Absolutely. And I see Rosalinda is Rosalinda in here? I think so. Hi, Rosalinda. Thank you for joining Navigating Life. I'm talking to Sara, and you're going to have to catch this on the replay if you're just joining in, because we talked about some pretty awesome stuff that I know that you would absolutely love. And then, Sara, just tell us one more time where we can find you on Instagram and your website.
Yes. So my website is sabipathways.com. That's SAB as in boy, I, pathwaysplural.com. And my Instagram for the Sabi Pathways Holistic Wellness is @sabi.pathways. And my personal Instagram for all things NLP and coaching is @sarabaker.lmft. And that's Sara with no H, SARA Baker.lmft.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, we're so glad that you made the time to join us today.
I'm so grateful that you had me.
It was really fantastic. So I'll be talking to you later, but let's all say bye to Sara. And thank you so much for your time. And we're going to see you again.
You so
Everybody wants to see you again, so we're going to see you again.
Awesome.
All right.
I'd love to come back.
All right. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. So what did you guys think of Sara? Pretty awesome. Oh, Aaron's saying bye. Please come back. I know she's pretty fantastic. I really love the conversation about the unconscious mind, because I think that we talk about it, but we don't talk about how to get to it. So I think in today's society, we talk a whole lot more about it, and it comes up, and it's almost a mystery about how to get there. And that's what I really love about NLP, is that it really takes the mystery out of it. And here's how your brain works. Here's how your thoughts work, and here's how the deck is stacked, and then kind of allowing you the tools to go in and reconfigure and really kind of design the life that you want to live, because you get to do that. I think we forget, right? We forget that we actually get to design the life that we want to live. I can't think of her name, but I heard, I think it was a TED Talk, and she talked about, she had a really interesting story, but the nugget that I walked away with was, she talked about how we keep ourselves hostage from doing what we want to do. We keep ourselves hostage from our dreams and the spaces that we want to be in. And I'm going to ask you guys to recognize what is that thought that's holding you hostage? How are you holding yourself hostage? And if you can recognize those thoughts, and I know, listen, journaling is not for everyone, but it can be, because when you think of journaling, I don't want you guys to think of writing paragraphs after paragraph after paragraph, unless you want to. See, I do that. If I sit down with a journal, then I'll write for as long as I can, for as long as I have time for. But some people aren't like that, and because of that, they may not pick up the journal, and because of that, they may not try it. So you can pick up the journal and you can put bullet points down there if you want. You can pick up the journal and you can draw pictures if you want. It's really about allowing this to come out, because you draw a picture and then you draw a word, you write a word and then another word, and next thing you know, you're really expressing what's on the outside. And when you look at that writing on paper, you start to understand your thoughts. And when you do that without judgment, you really can find a way to reconstruct, to create a different narrative, to reframe what is happening for you. And I noticed that for me, and one of the keys is to don't move away from the uncomfortable. Like if you're going to write something, and this journal is for you, so you write it the way you want to write it. If you're going to write something, don't try to over filter it. Like, just write it, just get it out. If it's the same word over and over and over again, you can absolutely just keep writing the same word over and over again. It's really just you spilling out. There's no wrong way, there's no right way to do it. Just do it. And you will start to see your thoughts, and you'll start to see patterns. And that's that part where you start to gain this awareness. And when I said to Sara earlier, it's like, once, when she was talking about awareness, and I said, once you have this awareness, you can't kind of unsee it. So you start to work with it, and you start to become cognizant of it, and then you start to behave a little bit differently. It's the process of getting out of here and getting it onto the journal. I'm going to tell you, I'm reading this chat. It says, I have 7 a.m. journal that I purchased. So Rosalinda, are you saying that you journal at 7 a.m. in the morning from a journal that you purchased on Amazon? Okay, Aaron says I'm missing an H in my name. Am I? Well, I'm just going to be Michelle without an H. That makes me unique and interesting. I'm looking for the journal real quick here. Let me find this here. I had some journals up.
Why is your guest still on? She's still here?
Is there a button I should be pushing?
What are you trying to get?
I'm trying to get to the journal in my page.
Gotta go to, is that your list? That's not your list.
Let's see.
What's that? I don't know what that is. Go to followsway.com.
All right.
Click the shortcut. Is your guest still on Zoom? Is she still? You're not still.
Nope, we're all done with that.
Still there.
So.
All right.
Oh, hey, Rosalinda did look it up here on Amazon. She says she did get it on Amazon. Okay, I think I'm on the right page now. So, thanks for your patience, guys, while I pull this up. So the whole idea, of journaling is really to get it out of here and get it somewhere where you can see it and you can kind of communicate with it. If you guys remember Dr. Caroline Leaf, and we talked about cleaning up your mental mess, and one of the steps in her 5-step program is to write, and she also says, you can write a lot or you can write a little. It doesn't have to be tons and tons of things that you need to write in there, but part of the process is that it helps to see it, and then you can start to restructure it and create what you really want out of it. And Amazon has a lot of great journals, and it's not a lot, and that's where I would get started. That's what I do, and I write a lot, so I go through a lot of journals. I don't spend tons of money on my journals. If I like how they feel and I like how they look, then that's good enough for me, and I just write them. And sometimes I throw them away because I don't like what I've written, and sometimes I keep them. So
Thanks. Michelle, you got your H.
I got my H. Hey, Aaron, I got my H back. Thank you for letting me know. So I just don't know when the navigating life is. Yes, my name is Michelle now. Thank you. But you know what? I do want to be different and unique, and I've always thought Michelle was a super, super boring name. And so I could be Michelle without an H. What do you guys think about that? Give me a thumbs up if you think,
Navigating life, there it is.
there we go, that I could be Michelle without an H. Let's see. I thought I had a journal in there.
You do.
I do. Or maybe I just touched the wrong thing.
All right, type it in the top, type it in the chat.
In-
Type it in the search.
Oh, in the search? Just the word journal?
Well, whatever it was. Let's call something.
Yeah, journal notebooks. There it is. Michelle, look up 7 a.m. journal. Oh, there's something called Rosalinda. You're on it. There's something called 7 a.m. journal. There is. All right, you guys, let's have a look at this. How's that? There we go. Look, and here I am, and the journal. This one's a line. Oh my gosh, hold on, wait a minute. This one comes in multiple colors.